The Transportation Security Acquisition Reform Act was signed into law just over 1 year ago. Among other things, the law requires the Administrator to establish a strategic 5-year technology investment plan and submit its intentions to Congress. The Administrator, with the approval of the Secretary, published the 2015 report to Congress in August of last year. This 5-year plan shows us the full scope of TSA's investment objectives, and it's a good start. But there are clearly some challenges that need to be addressed. In December, GAO released a report assessing TSA's acquisition process, specifically its process for testing and evaluating screening technology. This test and evaluation process is a necessary step that allows TSA and DHS to determine whether technologies meet mission needs before proceeding with procurement and deployment, which saves the agency time and money. The GAO report acknowledges that TSA has come up with ways to improve the test and evaluation process, in part by developing a third-party testing strategy in order to determine whether or not a vendor's technology is immature before TSA and DHS begin the test and the evaluation process. Unfortunately, we've learned from this report that TSA has yet to implement that strategy. Allowing third-party testing and evaluation would determine early on if a certain technology is mature enough to deploy, which will save, obviously, time and money and prevent wasteful spending. So I hope to hear from our witnesses today why that strategy has not yet been implemented and when we can expect that it will be. While third-party testing has yet to be finalized, I'm pleased to learn that TSA has been highly responsive to GAO's recommendations. And I agree with the Chairman, Ms. Vaughn. You are not in an enviable position, but you were kind enough to take some time to meet with me yesterday, and as a result of that, I think that this is going to be a very fruitful hearing. So with TSA screening more than 1 million passengers in checked bags and more than 3 million carry-on bags every single day, it's critical that TSA utilize taxpayer dollars as efficiently as possible to procure the most effective technology available. And we know that those numbers will only keep growing. The Federal Aviation Administration aerospace forecast for fiscal years 2015 to 2035 projects the number of passengers on U.S. carriers to increase 2% each year over the next 20 years. So TSA clearly needs technology that will cater to such growth, and as new threats emerge, there's no question that we need to prioritize certain security-related technologies over others. That's why it's so important that TSA do the work now to establish and finalize all the components of a straightforward and cost-efficient acquisition process in order to ensure that the agency can continue to fulfill its mission and keep passengers safe. So I appreciate the fact that TSA has been so responsive to the GAO report, and I truly do appreciate the opportunity to talk with our witnesses today about TSA's efforts to improve their acquisition processes. Among other things, I look forward to learning more about how TSA works with DHS to evaluate the different technologies. I'm also interested in the ways in which TSA incentivizes small businesses to be able to innovate and compete with larger companies that provide screening technology. That's probably one of the biggest challenges, I think, that we face today. TSA's acquisitions process has been described as too long and too expensive for large businesses, so I can only imagine the issues that arise with small businesses, other startups that are trying to break into a field that are obviously at a competitive disadvantage and may endure a lengthy process only to learn their products aren't mature enough for deployment. So I hope our witnesses can speak to that point as well. Mr. Chairman, thank you again for convening this hearing. I look forward to a productive conversation today, and I yield back the balance of my time.